Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about another episode. Oh, that's why I just drew two cards. Another episode of Dueling Book Commentary. We have just testing decks with 580 rating, 370 experience, taking on Thesazu, Thesauzi with 632 rating, 1333 experience. So a lot more experience on Thesazu's. People just use this card so freely, like they know what it does. Um, and even a higher rating as well, but nothing against just testing decks here. As we see, just testing decks activate the pot of greed, drew two cards, normal summon the Blade Knight, and set when it passes. And as you've already guessed, this is Flashback Fridays, so we are doing another episode of GOAT format here. And I'm in my true state. I'm in my bed, up against my wall. Lighting's better over here too. It's crazy. But we do see the Snatch Steel come down. It's gonna go ahead and take the Blade Knight. Dark Mimic level 3 is actually going to be normal summoned. So, Tasawi's, that's an interesting normal, I don't know how to say this guy's name. We'll call him Thess. It's interesting normal summoning the Dark Mimic level 3, in this circumstance. And I don't know why he lost 3,000. Maybe this gains attack if it's, gains 400 attack while you have one or less cards in your hand. Yes, that is why. Because I feel like setting this card, you're gonna get your draw. You're going to get your you're gonna have like an extra form of like back row. You're gonna have an extra form of defense as well. And I understand, Snatch Steals here, so he's gonna be gaining 1,000 life points every standby phase. So you're trying to get as much damage in as possible, but I just don't know if this is gonna come back to bite him. Normal summoning. This is we see the Don Zulong gonna go ahead and attack into the Dark Mimic level 3. It's interesting he attacked. It's interesting he attacked into the 4 back row that is here without it, because that's set 4 and passed, obviously, to get Blade Knight to a spot to where he can gain attack. The 5 cards in hand, not playing around Heavy Storm, but Zulong just attacks into it. There's so many solid back row cards. And I don't think, I guess, does Mimic level 3 have a flip effect? Because I thought its effect was just a destruction effect. Right, so definitely would still draw the card there. And he does not realize. Yeah. Because its skill drain is just on the field. This is engrave. I'm not sure what that. Are there any judges on? There's one judge this time. That's cool. So he does set 2 and pass. Yeah, this skill drain made actually no sense. But we do see the Mystic Tomato come down. And he's going to go ahead and attack into the Don Zulong. And Ring of Destruction is going to come down. That's going to go ahead, I'm assuming, pop the Mystic Tomato. And that is going to be changed to Solemn Judgment. And this is kind of what I said in yesterday's video. You can go ahead and check that out on my channel. But I said this in yesterday's video. Usually, if somebody sets this many cards in their back row, it's almost a telltale sign in the Go format that they have Solemn Judgment. So they have the Solemn Judgment to play around the Heavy Storm, so setting those 4, it's not as big of an impact. As we do see, Don Zulong is going to go ahead and get crashed into with the Mystic Tomato. Mystic Tomato didn't activate his effect. Which is interesting. I'm not sure why Mystic Tomato wouldn't have activated his effect there. But we do see the Mystical Space Typhoon come down on the Snatch Steel. And now that Blade Knight is in Just Testing's hand again, or on his side of the field again. He can go ahead and attack the Magician of Faith. That, however, will not be able to be activated because of the skill drain. And we do see Scapegoats come down. Summoning 4 different goat tokens. Oh! That's why. I did not even see that. Awesome. So, I misspoke. So, there was a Solemn Judgment that was played in response to the Ring of Destruction. Just Testing actually used his own Solemn Judgment to negate the Solemn Judgment. That's what this... I was so confused as to what that was. That's what this was all about. And then Blade Knight was able to attack directly over Just Testing after the Ring of Destruction resolved. But we got a lot going on over here on Thessa's side of the field. So we see Metamorphosis get used. That's going to go ahead and tribute his token to go ahead and summon Thousand Eyes Restrict. And then Regeki Break is going to be used, pitching the Tsusakiyomi and destroying the skill drain. So now no monsters can change their battle position, and this Thousand Eyes Restrict is a essentially walking relinquished, obviously, because that's kind of what this card does. It's a very good card. It was banned for a very long time. It wasn't until just recently where Konami was like, okay, maybe we can, kind of sort of bring it back, but it was, because it does get outed relatively easy. You see we see the Exiled Force come down. It's gonna go ahead and pop, and that's why a lot of people were running Exiled Force back then. Was to pop a card like a Thousand Eyes Restrict, or even a Chaos Sorcerer, as we see both the Danzu Long and the Blade Knight get banished for the Chaos Sorcerer. It's kind of just looking like it's the Chaos Metamorphosis mirror. We haven't seen Just Testing play any goat cards like Metamorphosis or Scapegoat, but we do see Skilled Dark Magician come down. This is an old-fashioned card, but it's definitely got its use, especially in this format, to be able to tribute itself off, summon the greatest wizard as far as attack and defense is concerned. As he switches the Chaos Sorcerer back to attack position, the Sangan is going to go ahead and get hit by the Skilled Magician. So, Skilled Dark Magician. So, definitely a solid back and forth. Whenever Solemn Judgment is chained to another Solemn Judgment, definitely a solid back and forth is going to take place. As Chaos Sorcerer makes Thessa's life points go all the way down to 300. He's got a Sinister Serpent in hand. I'm not really quite sure why he went and got a Sinister Serpent. Perhaps there really wasn't anything better. Excuse me. I mean, that game say only 300. I guess Sinister Serpent's your best thing, but if you're just looking for a card to discard, you might as well also get a monster of use. Because you could have set DD Warrior. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better card. I just don't know Go format super duper well. I don't know what was super available. Like Man-Eater Bug maybe. But I don't know if that card was around back then. Like Morphing Jar maybe. But I don't know if Sangan can search those cards. I don't know. There's a reason why he picked Sinister Serpent, but I'm not 100% sure. We do see Just Testing. Does take game 1 there. And really, the biggest thing there was, Thessa's... Once again, Thessa's, like I said, the Dark Mimic level 3. I'm not sure if normal summoning that was the correct move, but really just he activated the Snatch Steal, and he didn't really do anything to follow that up. He had the Blade Knight here, but he never did anything to follow that up, and all Just Testing had to do was activate Mystical Space Typhoon and pass. And that just really won him the duel there, one Mystical Space Typhoon. As we do see a T-set and pass from Thessa's, nothing super terrible, nothing wrong with that. And we do see reinforcement of the army come down. It's going to go ahead and add a lot of different things. Okay, so he's just going to go with the Blade Knight. Kind of a little Blade Knight beatdown style deck. Not anything too crazy. We do see the Ring of Destruction. Alternate art. Well, the other one was the alternate art. This is the original art with the flames. As that's going to destroy Blade Knight and inflict 1600 damage. And then Just Testing is going to set 3 in past turns. We do see Dark Mimic level 1, and then the Skill Drain once again coming down. That was going to be a huge swing. If he's able to draw 1 and then summon a Dark Mimic level 3, that was going to be super huge. As we do see Graceful Charity is still going to be activated. Discarding 2 cards. Really just kind of digging for that heavy storm. It's just complete blowout, to be honest. If Thesis is able to get into a heavy storm, he probably just wins the duel outright. I mean, he's going to discard 2 cards here. He'll have 4 or 5 cards left in hand after this. Um, so if he's able to draw into that heavy storm, maybe a Mystical Space Typhoon, but we don't know what's back here. We don't know what's back here, too. As we do see the Tsukiyomi and the Rekeki break. It's going to go ahead and get discarded off the Graceful Charity. And then Delinquent Duo is going to get activated, and a Solemn Judgment is going to come down a chain to that. And then we see Breaker, the Magical Warrior here. He's just a regular old guy now with Skill Drain on here. And he's going to poke for 1700. And he's going to set one and pass. So we do see Berserker Gorilla come down. That's going to do the full 19 damage. And the Mirror Force is going to be chained to that. And another Solemn Judgment is going to be activated. That's the cool thing about Solemn Judgment is that you can always activate a Solemn Judgment. You'll always be able to activate it, no matter the circumstances and no matter the situation. And we do see Thunder Dragon is going to be discarded. It's going to go ahead and add 2 other Thunder Dragons. And we do see a Light and a Dark is now officially in the graveyard. So all of the Chaos monsters are available for uses. We see Snatch Steel is going to come down, take Berserk Gorilla, and unless he has a response to that, not really too much he can do. And I think we saw in a situation there kind of what can happen, when you go a little bit crazy with the skill drains and the solemn judgments. And these were things that people did have to consider when you're playing, because you're playing a card like Royal Oppression, Imperial Order, Solemn Judgment, Skill Drain. These are cards, banned and limited cards, that are very powerful and can swing the duel in one way or the other, but because their cost is actually so high, when you start, it's kind of similar to how the Solemn Brigade is now, like Strike. If you activate all 3 Strike and Judgment and Warning, you're like killing yourself basically. So that's things that you definitely have to consider. And I don't think that was the sole reason Just Testing lost, as we see him normal summon Blade Knight and set 1 and pass. But I do think that was a big factor in why he lost, the fact that he played Skill Drain and 2 Solemn Judgments, right? As we do see the Thunder Dragon get discarded, adding 2 or more Thunder Dragons. I would not be surprised if this is another Skill Drain. I'm not really quite sure how good of a card Blade Knight is in a Skill Drain deck, but he could just be running Skill Drain just to have it, because it is just an overall really great card. As we do see the Scapegoat's going to come down on Thessa's side of the field. Because there are cards, like Skill Drain deck has been a deck for a while now. Like, there has been cards. As we do see the Kaiko's coming down. The Kaiko's actually a very, very solid card against Chaos, because it does have this clause that says your opponent cannot banish cards from either graveyard. So that's actually, it's even got play now, to be honest with you. It's even got play where, against Alistair.deck, against Eldritch, even against Dragon Link, and Dinosaurs. Kaiko's got some play. So this card's always kind of seen its way in and out of metas because of that second clause. But the first clause is also super relevant, at least in Go format. So you're having a bit of some discrepancies here. Not really quite sure what his issue is, to be honest. Not really quite sure. Because the judge call is still on, for some reason. As we do see, Creature Swap is going to be used after switching the token to attack position, and then Solemn Judgment is going to be chained to that. That's going to bring him down. Like, I don't like when you're on Dueling Book, if you call the judge, I'm fine with you calling the judge preemptively, but I'm not fine with you not canceling the call. There's one judge on, and there's 1,200 people on. right? So even if half of those people are in duels, it's 300 duels the judge has to be the judge for, right? So like cancel your call if you don't need it. But nonetheless, we do see Skilled Dark Magician's going to be normal summon. He's probably going to go ahead and attack into this token. And then it's actually Kaiko. That does make sense. So Kaiko's going to get his effect off. Going to go ahead and banish the two Thunder Dragons. And then we see the Skilled Dark Magician's going to attack the face down. So a really even battle here as we see Magician of Faith is going to be flip summoned. I assume going to add the creature swap, because why not? Now it is going to be interesting to see, is he going to give him Kaiko? Kaiko is kind of shutting down all graveyards, but it's going to open Thess's graveyards back up, but it's going to close just testings. Or is he going to give him the Skilled Dark Magician? Bank on the fact that he probably can't use it, but risk the fact that that's kind of his out to the Kaiku. So creature swap, creature swap's a very interesting card. It's always, not always, but it certainly has its way of impacting games when used properly. I mean, if you look at this, I think he's just being a little too just like impatient. And we do see that Sakayumi come down. It's going to go ahead and flip down the Kaiko. And then Sakurusi. Why is it so difficult to say these words? Sakuretsu armor is going to be used to destroy the Siyuki Ayomi, however you say it. And then they're going to go ahead and creature swap for Magician of Faith and the set Kaiku. Um, I think that card could be flip summoned back up, but maybe he just decided to not do that. Not entirely sure. Nonetheless, we do see Just Testing in a good spot here. He has the biggest monster on the field, and oh, by the way, he has more cards in his hand than Thess does. As we see a Blade Knight come back down again, it's going to go ahead and attack, I would assume, into the Kaiku, and then Magician of Fate's going to attack into the Scapegoat, and then the Skilled Dark Magician is going to attack for 1900, and I believe he should have at least one counter on him. Because it says every time a spell resolves. So he's got one counter on him. Because the first time Creature Swap was activated, it was Solemn Judgment, so it didn't resolve. So, slowly but surely, as we see a Thunder Dragon is discarded again. The judge is here. As we do see Chaos Sorcerer special summon itself out. An Old Man is here. Chaos Sorcerer is going to activate, banishing the Skilled Dark Magician. And I hope that we don't... So he's going to explain why he called. And he's going to explain himself here too. Hopefully the judge just leaves. And doesn't wait. Not hopefully for that, but just like hopefully for the judge's sake. Like I said, he's got a lot of duels that are going on right now. And these two players are just playing through. So the Chaos Sorcerer did banish the Skilled Dark Magician. We did see Rhoda go ahead and grab an Exiled Force, and then Heavy Storm is going to destroy all spells and traps in the field. It's only this Book of Moon. So, not the biggest Heavy Storm, but in this game state, that's going to be super big, is he's going to be able to summon the Exiled Force and not really have to worry about any forms of disruption from Thessis side of the field. We do see a light and a dark be banished, actually, for Blackluster Soldier. Exiled Force is going to be used. It's going to go ahead and destroy the face-down monster now, since he does have that Blackluster Soldier. And Sangan is going to be popped, and he, unfortunately, no matter what he searches, there's not anything to do there. Now, let's see what the judge had to say. I do not think it is necessary to issue any slow play penalties at this time, based on what the issue was. And then that was the end of that. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Click that like button if you do enjoy this dueling book commentary over some more Go format duels. Like I said, it's all about the it's all about the YouTube and the Yu-Gi-Oh algorithm as well. You know, the more likes and subscriptions I get off of specific videos, the more videos I'll post of that. Because I do enjoy doing this commentary video. But most importantly of all, of course, have a great day. Okay, what a duel. What a duel to the duel.